Good. Apologize for small technical issues. And how many of you guys know Runecast solutions? Awesome. Thanks. So in this talk, I wanted to talk about Runecast history a little bit. Runecast started as a company in 2014, and at that point in time, we were just covering knowledge base articles which are applicable to VMware, vSphere, and ESX servers. And we didn't cover many things which we do today. So, as I said, it was founded in 2014, and now we cover way more. So we cover best practices, security hardening guides, like we did before. Now we cover also DSST, PCI DSS, and CIS security standards, which can be applicable to your VMware infrastructure. And aside of that, we decided to implement VMware Hardware Compatibility Guide, which is a very good time saver for system administrators, because normally it's done manually using Excel sheets. And here we provide this information automatically, directly in user interface. Now, aside of just showing it to you, we are also providing you with ability to verify whether your servers will be supported in later release or not. Now, most of the clients which we have, they are using Runecast Analyzer as well for preparation to audits. So, security, as you know, security is a very trendy thing right now because of all of these hacker attacks and vulnerabilities. So we decided to implement vulnerabilities as well. And today's topic is Config Vault, which allows you to check how your environment changes over time. So you can compare the same system against itself in different time frame, or you can compare different systems between each other. It's a similar concept like VMware host profile, but it applies here not only to ESX servers, but all objects in your infrastructure. We also cover Kubernetes, so it's also available there. And we cover public clouds. Currently, we support both Amazon, Azure, and Google Cloud. All right, let's jump into the Config Vault. Here you can see the system, which is publicly available, so you can try to click around on it. It's published on the internet. And as you can see, this is a main user interface of our product. As you can see, there are vulnerabilities, hardware incompatible hosts, security compliance is around 50%. And here is how all of it progressed through the history. Now, since we are focusing on a Config Vault today, I'll jump right there. And here on the Configuration Vault, you can see all of your systems. Let me choose something more modern, like version 7. As you can see here, you can inspect all of the properties of your ESX server. So you can see connection state, you can see vendor, model. All of this information is available via API from vCenter. So here you can choose not vendor, for example, but CPU model. And you can see that I have 3 ESX servers with one model and one with different. So this may lead to some problems with vMotion or with DRS in your clusters. Aside of that, you can choose other parameters. We provide 3 widgets which allow you to select a comparison of the properties. And yeah, for instance, you can select not model here, but I don't know, ESX version. And as you can see, 3 of the servers are version 7, and 1 of the server is 6.5. This is all cool and great, and you can see all of these properties which we cover here. We are also collecting IO devices, which is normally a more difficult task that you need to collect it using PowerCLI or it's harder to see it across all of your ESX servers. We also provide you hardware IDs, which can be used in HCL as well. We're using these numbers to find these IDs in HCL. Now, this screen shows you particular scan of particular vCenter. You can also, what you can do here is you can choose different scan. So if you enable automatic scheduling in Runecast Analyzer, you can scan it periodically. So for example, once per day or once per week. It's up to you. You can configure it. And here you will see different dates, and you can later on compare this system to the previous result. So here we can just select different time, and you can see how this server behaved at that point in time. Now, aside of inspector, we are also providing baseline comparison. And baseline comparison allows you to compare your ESX servers between each other. So here you can, let me just hide the charts because they will not be needed here. And here you can select one of the servers as a baseline. So as you can see, there is no changes between itself because this server is a baseline right now. But there are many changes with other servers. And we can see them, if we scroll through the table, we can see all of the changed parameters in red. As you can see here, the model is different. There is CPU type is different, and also build number and ESX version. Now, if you are using this workflow to identify changes in your infrastructure, you might notice that we are comparing service tag, and it will never match, right? So you will always see red here. You can filter any property, and you can remove it from here. So for instance, I can delete it, and now you can see that the number of changes decreased, and this column is no longer red. If you have hundreds of ESX servers or thousands, it will be visible as well in this table. So here you can see the BIOS version is different. And also you can see the management IPs. OK, you probably don't need it because it must be different. And we also show you all of installed VIPs. So for instance, these three servers, this server is different, but in this case it's understandable because it's a completely different version, right? So it's version 6.5. Aside of that, you can see all of these changes by clicking the Changes tab, and you can see them in diff mode. So if you are familiar with GitHub, you immediately see all of the changes. So for instance, VMware Virtual Platform, ESXi version, the build number, and also the devices. Okay. Right? So this is one use case for configuration comparison. You can compare ESX servers between each other. One more thing, since Runecast Analyzer allows you to connect to multiple vCenters, you don't have to select them from the same location or from the same vCenter. Here you can select it from, for instance, I have a baseline of version 7, and now I can choose to compare it with 6.7, and as you can see, most of them will have these changes. Because baseline is still on version 7, there are many changes in 6.7 and 7. Now, this is about comparison of different systems. Of course, if you select something completely different, like not VMware, but for instance, Amazon, all of the changes will be reset because there is no way we can compare these changes. Logic of objects is completely different. As you can see here, there are EC2 instances. Now, Another part which you can use as well is historical changes. So here is another tab, and it allows you to compare your server to itself in the past. We cannot see the future, but we can see the configuration parameters from the past. So if I select, for instance, last day of October, and I hit apply, you can see that there are changes between the same system. So for instance, this 6.5.4 has certain change, and in this case, somebody added new log system, syslog system. So you might be interested to see these changes. And currently undergoing QA, in the next release we'll show you also tasks which are performed, tasks which were performed between these scans. So you can see not only what changed, but who changed it. All right, let me show you a couple of more examples. So as you can see here, there is SSH. It was stopped, and now it's running. So you see that someone started the SSH service. Now, all of this information is available in a tabular format. So the question comes on its own: how can I export this data, right? So you could use it in other systems. So for that, we have export button, which is pretty much available on most of user screens of Runecast Analyzer. And here in export, you can see it in a CSV format. I'm not sure what will be. Yeah, all right. So aside of ESX servers, you can do the same with your virtual machines, with port groups, etc. So you can select your virtual machines, and you can see any changes which have been performed between the scans. So in this case, one VM remains the same. So it was in this state, and it remains in this state. And here you can also see the changes. So in this case, most probably it was powered off, so we cannot identify the guest OS anymore. We can also compare not only we can also verify and inspect and compare not only the systems themselves, like ESX servers, but their properties inside. So for instance, in this case, you can see all of the hardware devices which this ESX server has. As you can see, there are many HBAs and VM NICs, and here you can see to which ESX servers they are attached. So you can filter by ESX. And you can see all of your ESXi version 7 hosts, which are all of data from those ESX servers. It's very useful because normally you don't see this data in such details in the web client. All right. Do you have any questions about it? About the hardware, about the config vault functionality? If not, let me just show you a little bit more what we do for the security compliance, if you are interested in. So as you can see, we are covering all of these standards. And over here, So we have German standards, the Cyber Essentials, DSSTIC, Essential 8, GDPR. Whatever is your flavor for audits, we mostly cover it here. And some of the standards are applicable only to VMware, some of them are applicable only to Amazon, so you can see the support matrix under the settings here. Let me show you what we do. As you can see, support for these profiles, for these security profiles, is covered for following systems. Since we are talking about the configuration, let me also show you the hardware compatibility guide comparison. As you know, it's a feature which I would love to have it when I was working as system administrator, because I was doing it manually in Excel sheets, and here, during the scan, during the analysis, we provide you with such result. So, for instance, this is the ESX server, and here we have data which is collected from the ESXi, and here is data which is coming from HCL. And if you want to verify it for yourself, you can even click on this button, and it will navigate you to a specific server model in VMware HCL. So we are not inventing these details. They are coming directly from the source. Now, this is current state, and as you can see, it's all green. Let me show you one of the red systems. As you can see here, the server is red because of BIOS version. And as you can see, the BIOS is too new. As per hardware compatibility guide, this system, specifically PowerH R730, supports latest firmware of 2.7.1. And we have 2.8.0. In this case, we have simple steps to revert it. Like you can try to downgrade the BIOS, but maybe you would want to contact VMware or Dell in this case, why it's not up to date in HCL. And we do it for hardware devices as well. As you can see here, this HBA is not supported, and it's not supported because its firmware is too low. So here you have exact simple steps. Just upgrade to 21.3.4, and you will be in line with hardware support by VMware. Now, this is all cool. This is current state, but imagine now we are not on 6.5, right? 6.5 is already obsolete, I guess, right? So you can simulate upgrade to further version. So in this case, as you know, the ESXi version 8 is released, and you can see that all of the servers became red. And they became red because, in this case, it's because of this adapter. It's not found in HCL. It might be able to work. It might work for several months, I don't know. But since it's not published in HCL, you don't have this testing performed by vendor and by VMware that it actually works, that it's actually supported. Maybe you need to update, I don't know, firmware or drivers for this device for it to work properly. Yeah, and all of it is exportable, so you see the exported values from your server data and also from HCL, and all is lined up in a single Excel sheet in CSV format. Any questions to HCL? Would you find this feature useful? Yeah, all right, good to know. Yeah, so if you are interested in what we do more, obviously we are here. You can see single VM, which is analyzing the whole infrastructure, but we also support deployment model on Kubernetes, and in the clouds. So if you don't own, for instance, a VMware infrastructure, but you would want to use our product for Windows, Linux, or Kubernetes, you can deploy it on Amazon and enjoy it. I don't know. You can also deploy it on Kubernetes. It runs as a Helm chart. Do you guys have any questions to anything at all?
Security compliant against ESXi or against operating systems?
Yeah, we do. So if you look at operating systems here, we currently cover Windows and Red Hat. And here you can see these standards. So for example, this stick is supported on Windows and Linux, and CIS probably, if you are using it, and IST as well. And we are collecting information from registry, from configuration files, from everywhere, from Linux and Windows systems. And here you can see results which are passing and also which are failing. So if I filter only to failed, you can see that ensure sudo commands are using PTI. And we show you not only that there is a problem, but we show you exactly on which system and why we report it. So in this case, the sudo is not configured to use PTI. And the issue comes from CIS security standard. As you can see, all of this is coming directly from documentation from CIS. We are a CIS partner registered in Europe as well. Now, for US military organizations, they mostly use DISA stick, which is used by US military. Now, for this product to work efficiently, we need to update it regularly. So we release updates every week. And if you don't have internet connectivity from your data center, it's fine. You can download ISO image, attach it to the virtual machine, and update it offline. Here are the rules from NIST as well. Now, of course, sometimes you are more interested not to look at them per issue, but per specific object. So you can navigate to inventory view, and you can see your infrastructure in inventory. So in this case, we cover Linux and Windows. And if you select vCenter, you will see ESX servers and VMs, same way like you do in vCenter web client. So in this case, you can see data center, under it, data store, hosts, and the ESX servers with number of issues which we identified. As you can see, it's quite a huge number, even though it's a very small virtual test lab. Now, that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions or you want to know more about us, you can visit us at booth number 207. It's close to VMware, so you'll not miss it. And other than that, thank you. Thank you for attention.